Something shifted in the spirit on August 12. Archangel Michael has been trying to warn you, but you keep skipping the signs. A divine release was assigned to you. You have 3 minutes left to claim it before it's redirected. Open this now. August 12. The moment heaven moved. In the unseen realm, at an hour chosen before the foundations of the world, the atmosphere shifted. It was not a random day, nor a fleeting spiritual breeze. It was a sovereign alignment, a sacred turning point in the records of eternity. The hosts of heaven, stationed in formation, stood at attention, and at the center of that command, Archangel Michael, warrior of the Most High, was dispatched with a message burning like fire upon his tongue. This was no gentle whisper for the masses. This was a time-coded, heaven-sealed decree intended only for those whose names were inscribed in the Lamb's book for such a time as this. But you, beloved, have been walking through your days as though nothing shifted. You have been glancing at signs without recognizing their weight. The numbers, the dreams, the sudden changes in atmosphere, each has been a tap on your shoulder from eternity, but you have brushed them aside in the busyness of life. And now, the final hourglass has been turned. There are 3 minutes left in this divine countdown. In the language of the Spirit, 3 minutes is not a figure of casual speech. It is an urgent prophetic marker. It is the moment between receiving and losing, between claiming what is rightfully yours and watching it be reassigned to another vessel. Yes, a divine release has already been assigned to your name. It has been measured, weighed, and sealed in heaven's storehouse. But heaven will not hold it forever in suspension. If the appointed one does not reach out in obedience, the blessing will be redirected to fulfill God's purpose elsewhere. This is not a threat. It is a reality of spiritual law. You are not hearing this by accident. Heaven has permitted you to hear this message because your window is still open. Archangel Michael is not delivering casual comfort. He comes as a sentinel, a watchman of fire. His wings have swept through the corridors of the unseen to reach you now. And as he speaks, the recording angels take note of your response. Heaven watches for silence, stillness, and obedience, not frantic activity, not anxious scrambling, but a surrendered posture that proves your readiness. Make no mistake, you are being observed. The Spirit's eyes are upon you. The countdown has begun, and the next moments will determine whether you stand in the overflow or watch it flow past you. This is your moment to discern, to receive, to act, before the sands run out. Type "I am alert" in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 333 is now in motion. By the time the clock strikes, heaven will decide. The spiritual gates are swinging open as I speak, but they will not remain open forever. The air in the spirit realm is thick, charged with urgency. It is as if the trumpets have sounded, not for all, but for you. This is not a general call for the crowd. This is a summons delivered by fire, a word with your name engraved upon it before the sun set last night. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, not in silence, but in full battle array, to interrupt your moment, to pierce through the noise, to demand that you stop and listen. This is the interruption you were never expecting but desperately needed. Heaven rarely knocks twice in the same way. And today, this is not man's voice you hear. It is the echo of a divine dispatch, birthed in the throne room and carried on the wings of one of heaven's fiercest protectors. Do not think for a moment that this is a coincidence. The timing, the stirring in your spirit, the restlessness that has shadowed you, this is heaven's way of making sure you are awake when the decree arrives. Michael comes with urgency because this word is time-bound. It is bound to a moment in eternity that will not wait for hesitation. windows of heaven do not swing open indefinitely. They open with precision, and they close with precision. The Spirit says, when I move swiftly. When I release suddenly. But I do not release into hands that are not ready. Beloved, you are being measured now, not in human strength, but in readiness of spirit. Will you respond? Will you heed the voice that comes not from the earth, but from the eternal realm? The countdown is real. 3 minutes left in heaven's language may feel like a mystery to you, but in the spiritual, it means the moment of transfer is at hand. Think of it as the last moments before the seal on a scroll is either broken for you or passed to another. In those 3 minutes, angels watch, the Spirit weighs, and the decision is sealed. Every distraction you faced has been a deliberate attempt to keep you from recognizing this hour. Every delay you've tolerated hath been a snare meant to slow your steps to the gate. But now the gate stands open. Michael stands at that gate, sword drawn, not to fight against you, but to guard what belongs to you from the forces that hunger to take it. He knows the exact moment the gate will shut. He knows the sound of heaven's gavel when it strikes to finalize the release. And he is here to guide you, not through noise, not through chaos, but into the still place where heaven can mark your obedience. Right now, there are scrolls in the spirit realm with seals that bear your name. There are blessings positioned like arrows ready to be released from a bow. But the bow will not release unless the target is in position. The angels are watching for that alignment in you, the stillness, the surrender, the readiness to receive without delay. The Spirit says, I do not deliver to those who stand in confusion. I deliver to those who stand in position. And that is why you are hearing this now. Feel the urgency, but do not let it push you into panic. This urgency is not meant to scatter you. It is meant to awaken you. Michael's voice is firm, but it carries the weight of mercy. Heaven did not have to warn you again. But you have been warned, because heaven still intends to deliver what was promised on August 12. The shift that happened then was not a vague, distant move. It was the reordering of heaven's schedule to make sure your release was set in motion. There is no room for hesitation now. No room for I'll think about it later. Later does not exist in this window. There is only now, this divine moment when heaven is bending toward you, waiting for your spirit to answer. The Spirit is searching for the one who will say, Here I am. I will not miss my moment. Be that one. Respond before the final breath of this countdown passes. Type I am ready in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 444 is being released now. You have felt it. The past few days have not been ordinary. Even if the world around you looked the same, something inside you knew that a shift had occurred. There have been moments where you sat in stillness and couldn't explain the sudden heaviness in your chest, or the way your mind wandered into strange and unshakable thoughts. You have been restless without knowing why. You have woken in the night and felt the weight of something unseen pressing near. This is not anxiety. This is not coincidence. This is the spiritual tension that comes when heaven has set something in motion, and the unseen realm has turned its attention toward you. There are eyes watching you. Some are eyes of light assigned to protect, to guide, to shield. Others are eyes of darkness, intent on monitoring, waiting for the slightest crack in your guard. You have felt their gaze without realizing what it was, an unexplained shiver down your spine, an unprovoked thought of caution, a sudden shift in atmosphere when you enter a room. The watchers are not a myth. The spirit realm is never silent when heaven sends a decree. Your name, spoken in the courts of heaven on August 12, has echoed in other realms, and those who oppose you have heard it too. You have noticed strange disruptions. misunderstandings with people who usually support you, delays that have no logical explanation, people pulling away without warning. These are not random. They are Bavarians. There are those seen and unseen who sense something is coming for you. They may not know the fullness of it, but they can smell the wind of blessing before it breaks. And when the scent of favor fills the air, it draws both angels and adversaries. This is why you've been unsettled. The spiritual atmosphere around you has been stirred. You have been walking with an invisible countdown above your head. Heaven is waiting, but so is hell. The enemy cannot stop heaven's decree, but he can work to make you miss it. How? By distraction, by subtle interference, by making you feel too weary, too busy, too unfocused to notice the moment when the gate is open. That weariness you've been feeling is not just physical. It's spiritual sabotage designed to pull your attention away from the signs. Archangel Michael has seen this tactic before. He knows the enemy's patterns. He knows that when heaven schedules a release, the opposition will stir the waters just enough to cloud your vision. And so he comes now, not to merely inform you, but to awaken you. There is no room for delayed recognition. There is no space for, "I will act when I feel ready." The readiness must be now, because the moment is now. Ask yourself, why have the last few days felt heavier than usual? Why have you felt like something is both near and far at the same time? It is because the release that was appointed to you on August 12 is standing in the spirit realm, waiting to descend. And the closer it comes, the more the atmosphere around you resists. Beloved, you cannot afford to let the noise in your mind drown out the whisper of heaven. That whisper is what will guide you through this hour. Michael stands ready, but your alignment is the key. The gate is open, the release is prepared, and the countdown continues. Do not let distraction rob you of your appointed portion. Stay awake. Stay aware. Every second matters now. Type "I will not miss IT" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 555 is covering you. The same heaven that aligned August 12 for your release is calling us to move together in this mission. Every word you've just heard is part of a greater battle to awaken souls before their moment closes. When you sow into this ministry, you're not funding a voice. You're fueling the light that pierces the darkness for others who are still asleep. God says, "What you make happen for others, I will make happen for you." Every seed you plant is like oil on the lamp of truth, keeping the fire burning so others can see. I'm inviting you right now. Step into the work with us through Super Thanks, membership, or by sowing directly through PayPal using the link in the description. This is not a casual gift. It is a prophetic act that says, "I stand with the mission of heaven. And I declare over every giver, your seed will return as rivers of favor and divine acceleration." Give now. Be part of the awakening. What you have been feeling is not random. It is a direct result of your calling. The resistance around you is not because you are cursed. It is because you are chosen. When August 12 came, heaven's order shifted, and your name was brought into the center of a divine agenda. That moment put you on a collision course with both the promise and the battle that comes before it. Every chosen one throughout history has known this reality. Elevation draws warfare, and release attracts resistance. This is not about a bad week, a frustrating season, or unlucky circumstances. This is about the weight of your assignment in the Spirit. You have been entrusted with something heaven considers valuable, so valuable that Archangel Michael himself was commissioned to guard it until it reaches your hands. But guarding is not the same as delivering. Delivery requires cooperation. Heaven will fight for you, but you must choose to stand in the place of alignment. When you feel the press of resistance, Remember, it is proof that you are standing near the threshold. The enemy does not waste his resources on those going nowhere. He deploys his strongest interference against those whose next step will change the territory. That is you. The tension you are feeling is the invisible proof that something in the atmosphere knows you are about to rise. In this hour, heaven is not only watching the battle, you are part of the test. How you respond in these moments determines your readiness for what comes next. Do you react in panic, or do you hold your ground in trust? Do you lash out at those around you, or do you take your words to the throne of God? Heaven's eyes are on you, not to condemn, but to measure. The spiritual registry is being updated, and every choice you make is recorded as evidence of your faith. Michael is not passive in this fight. He is the commander of heaven's armies, and his sword is drawn on your behalf. He has driven back forces you did not even know were closing in. He has stood between you and schemes that would have destroyed your peace. Yet there is something even Michael cannot override: your will. He can guard, he can warn, he can clear a path, but you must walk it. The conflict surrounding you is not about taking you down. It is about making you step aside long enough for the blessing to pass you by. The enemy knows he cannot stop God's promise, so he tries to stop your agreement with it. He wants you to question, to doubt, to speak words that unravel the very faith holding your release in place. This is why silence and stillness are so vital in this season. They are weapons. They are shields. They are proof to heaven that you will not be moved by the storm. Beloved, your struggle is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of importance. You are marked in the Spirit, and your presence on the battlefield has already shifted the balance. When the enemy comes with false whispers, remind yourself, I am not here because I am forgotten. I am here because I am favored. That is the truth that breaks his grip. You are not losing. You are being refined. You are not abandoned. You are being trained. And when the refining is complete and the training is done, heaven will open the gate wide, and Michael will hand you what he has guarded since August 12. The conflict will make sense then. The sleepless nights will be worth it, and you will look back at this battle as the birthplace of your authority. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now surrounding you. The atmosphere is shifting again. I can feel the tempo of the spirit realm quicken, like the final movements of a drum before the warrior's charge. This is not the slow, quiet pull you have felt in days past. This is acceleration. The enemy has caught wind of the decree released over you, and now he is working with urgency, moving his pieces into place before the blessing manifests. Heaven wants you to know, this is not a moment to relax. This is a moment to anchor yourself in divine readiness, because within 72 hours, the clash will escalate. There is a prophetic clock ticking, and unlike the symbolic 3 minutes that represent the divine countdown for your release, this 72-hour window is a living, active time frame in which events will begin to unfold in both the seen and unseen realms. The Spirit says, you will know it has begun when small things begin to irritate without reason, when conversations suddenly carry hidden edges, and when familiar faces begin to show unfamiliar eyes. These are the early tremors before the shaking. Michael is already standing guard, but even as he fights, the adversary attempts to work in stealth. He does not always come roaring like a lion. Sometimes he moves like a whisper, planting seeds of offense, confusion, or fear. The danger in this hour is not simply the attack itself. It is the distraction that comes with it. If your eyes shift from the assignment to the agitation, you risk stepping out of the alignment needed for the release. Heaven's urgency is not meant to make you afraid. It is meant to awaken your spirit to the reality that you are in the final stretch before possession. This is why the enemy's activity has increased. He knows that once you take hold of what was promised, the ground you gain will be irreversible. So he will try everything to unsettle you before you cross. Do not be surprised if the confrontation comes in unexpected ways. It may come as a subtle argument with someone you trust. It may come as a knife's extends. It may come as a sudden flood of doubt about whether August 12 truly meant anything at all. But hear me. These are not random. They are targeted maneuvers meant to see if you will let go of the promise before it is in your hands. The countdown of heaven is still running. Your 3 minutes remain in the spiritual sense, but those minutes can either lead to breakthrough or to redirection. Remember, the release has been assigned to you, but heaven will not allow it to linger in stagnation. If you stand still in obedience, it will come. If you turn away in distraction, it will be passed to another. Michael's role in this hour is to clear the path so that nothing touches the blessing in its descent. But your role is to remain rooted, unmoved, and ready to receive. The Spirit warns, do not be quick to speak in this window. The adversary will try to bait you into words that cancel what your faith has built. Even in confrontation, choose silence over reaction. Silence is not weakness. It is authority in disguise. This 72-hour escalation is not the end. It is the proof that you are on the edge of possession. When the push becomes hardest, you are nearest to crossing the threshold. Stand now, for heaven is watching. The angels are moving, and the seal on your blessing is almost ready to break. Type "I will stand" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 888 is now being activated over your life. Beloved, you are now in the narrow passage between promise and possession. In this passage, the steps you take and the words you speak carry amplified weight. Heaven has issued a decree over you, but your participation in this moment is not passive. It is active, though not in the way the world defines activity. The Spirit says, cease from striving, yet be intentional in standing. Hold your position, and let me fight for you. The first safeguard heaven is commanding over you is the guard of your tongue. Words in this season are weapons, but they can cut for you or against you. In the past, perhaps you have felt the need to explain yourself, to defend your reputation, to make your case. But in this hour, silence will protect you more than speech. Do not feel pressured to respond to every provocation. When accusations rise, when confusion swirls, when others try to pull you into their storms, remain still. The battle in this window is not to prove yourself, but to preserve your position. Archangel Michael is already in motion, battling in realms you cannot see. Your silence gives him clear airspace to move without interference. When you hold your peace, heaven can speak louder on your behalf than any defense you could ever craft. Remember the promise of Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That is not a poetic suggestion. It is a divine strategy. The second safeguard is the discipline of focus. You must not let your attention wander to the noise surrounding you. Keep your eyes fixed on the one who assigned the blessing. Every time your mind begins to spiral into worry or frustration, pull it back into alignment with the promise spoken over you on August 12. Speak it aloud. I will not be moved from my place of inheritance. The third safeguard is prayer that listens more than it speaks. This is not the time for frantic petitions or endless words. It is the time to lean in and hear the specific instructions of the Spirit. Often, in high-pressure moments, the flesh wants to fill the air with noise, but the Spirit moves in whispers. In the stillness, He will show you the steps you must take, the people you must avoid, the doors you must leave unopened. If the Spirit prompts you, and fasting to your prayer, This is not for the sake of ritual, but to sharpen your spiritual hearing. Fasting quiets the voice of the flesh so that the voice of heaven becomes unmistakable. It is a physical act that says, I value my spiritual clarity more than my natural comfort. The fourth safeguard is avoiding unnecessary exposure. Not everyone needs to know what you are waiting for. Not everyone should be invited into your process. Loose conversation can open spiritual doors that the enemy will gladly walk through. Be discreet. Guard the details of your journey until the testimony is ready to be revealed. Michael's presence in your life at this moment is not symbolic. He is literally appointed to shield what belongs to you until the appointed time. But understand this, his protection is most effective when you are walking in obedience to heaven's strategies. If you step out of alignment, through anger, through distraction, through careless speech, you create openings that he must then defend against unnecessarily. Heaven is not asking you to fight this battle in your own strength. In fact, your greatest act of warfare in this hour is restraint. Your silence is a sword. Your stillness is a shield. Your obedience is a fortress. And when you combine these with prayerful listening, you create a spiritual atmosphere in which the enemy cannot operate freely. Beloved, hold fast. The blessing assigned to you on August 12 is drawing nearer. The resistance you feel is the proof of its approach. Guard your mouth, focus your heart, still your spirit, and trust the heavenly guard assigned to your name. You are not unprotected, you are surrounded. Type I am guarded in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is sealing your protection now. It is time to break the lie that you are powerless. The opposition you have felt is real, but so is the strength that has been forged in you through every trial, every delay, every midnight prayer. You have survived seasons that were designed to crush you, and yet here you stand, still believing, still watching, still waiting for the promise. That is not weakness. That is proof of divine endurance. Heaven sees you not as a fragile vessel about to break, but as a warrior whose armor has been tested in fire. The Spirit says, you have grown stronger than you realize. The version of you that faced the last battle is not the same one standing now. Back then, you reacted from fear. Back then, you doubted whether you were chosen. Back then, the storms could toss you easily. But now, you have learned how to anchor. You have learned that even when the waves rise, you do not have to be moved. This is why the enemy's tactics have changed. He knows you have outgrown the traps that once worked. Picture yourself as the eagle, high above the chaos of the earth. The storms that intimidate the small birds are the very winds that carry you higher. You were not built to remain grounded when the air grows turbulent. You were designed to ride the current of adversity into greater elevation. Michael has been sent to guard you, but heaven has also been strengthening your wings so that you can soar without fear when the shift fully manifests. Fire has also been a part of your transformation. The attacks you thought would consume you were actually the refining flames of God's forge. Every betrayal burned away the false support you thought you needed. Every delay melted away the impatience that would have ruined your timing. Every unanswered question purified your trust. And now, when the blessing arrives, it will find a vessel ready to carry it without cracking under the weight. You are no longer in the posture of simply hoping for survival. You are stepping into the posture of dominion. This is why the August 12 shift was so significant. Heaven did not just release a blessing to you. He affirmed your authority to carry it. The release is not a rescue. It is a coronation. It is the moment when heaven says, you have passed through the fire. You have endured the test. Now walk in the fullness of what I have given. Do not allow the enemy to convince you that you are still the same person you were before. That is his oldest tactic. to drag your mind back to past failures so you will not step into present authority. Refuse to rehearse your wounds. Speak your victories instead. Declare aloud, I am not who I was. I have been strengthened. I have been refined. I have been chosen. When you speak this, you align your words with heaven's record of you, and heaven moves where there is agreement. Michael's presence is a reminder that you are worth defending. Angels are not dispatched to protect what is weak and purposeless. They are sent to guard what carries kingdom value. If heaven has assigned its warrior angel to your side, it is because what you carry has the power to shift territories. You are not simply receiving a personal blessing. You are carrying something that will impact others. That is why you cannot shrink back. That is why your mindset must shift from victim to victor, from survival to expansion. Beloved, stand tall in this hour, not in arrogance, but in the quiet authority of one who knows they have been sent. Your history may have shaped you, but it does not define your next step. The Spirit says, lift your head, extend your wings, and rise, for I have not called you to hide. I have called you to reign. Type I am strong in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1010 is now active over your life. The opposition you have been facing is not random. It is the shadow cast by the light of your next spiritual level. The Spirit says, the closer the dawn, the darker the night appears. Since August 12, the shift in the heavens has not been small. It had been seismic. The very atmosphere around your life has been rearranged to make space for what is coming. This is why everything has felt unsettled, why the air feels heavy with something you cannot yet see. The release appointed to you is not simply a personal blessing. It is an elevation that will change your position in the spirit realm. The resistance you feel is confirmation. Heaven would not have sent Michael unless the assignment on your life was critical. And the enemy would not be pressing so hard unless he sensed that the gates of promotion are swinging wide before you. This is not a season of simple answers or quiet transitions. This is a threshold moment, and what is on the other side is so weighty that it cannot be given without a test. The Spirit reveals, the unrest in your spirit has been the sound of the lock turning in the heavenly vault. You have felt it as sleepless nights, as an ache in your chest, as a sudden awareness that time is moving differently. That is because heaven has already approved your next level. It is simply awaiting your alignment to activate the release in the natural. This next level is not only about favor, it is about authority. You will not just receive, you will command. You will not just be blessed, you will carry influence that changes environments. That is why the Watchers have been so alert to your movements. Every promotion in the Spirit sends ripples through the unseen realm, and those ripples can be felt by friend and foe alike. In heaven's record, your name is not just listed, it is engraved. The registry of the chosen bears it, marked by the events of August 12. This date has become a prophetic marker in your life, one that will be remembered in years to come as the day everything shifted in your favor. And yet, the fullness of that shift will only be revealed to the one who stays the course, refuses to be moved, and stands in unshakable agreement with heaven's decree. Michael's assignment is not yet finished. He stands at the point of release, sword in hand, guarding the scroll that carries your blessing. He will not allow the adversary to touch it, but you must remain in the position that allows him to deliver it. This is why the Spirit has been whispering to you to stay silent when provoked, to stay still when tempted to rush, to listen when you would rather speak. Every instruction is not random. It is the pathway to your promotion. Beloved, the revelation is clear. You are standing at the threshold of your appointed increase. Do not look at the unrest as a sign of loss. See it as the birth pangs of your new level. The enemy may be loud right now, but heaven's voice is louder to those who are listening. And that voice says, hold your ground. The gates are opening. The release is near. Type I receive my next level in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1212 is surrounding your name in heaven's registry. The same gates that are opening over your life today are the gates we fight to open for others every single day. This mission is not entertainment. It is a rescue operation for souls standing in their own 3-minute countdowns, not yet aware of the urgency. When you sow into this work, you are placing oil into the lamps of countless others, ensuring the light reaches them before their moment closes. The Lord says in Proverbs 11:25, those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. When you give, through super thanks, membership, or by using the PayPal link in the description, you are not just giving money, you are planting seeds in heaven's soil, where moth and rust cannot destroy. I bless every hand that gives with the same prophetic acceleration I am declaring over you now. Take this moment, respond, and let your seed speak for your destiny. Beloved, the hour for passive waiting has passed. The release that was appointed to you on August 12 has not been left to drift in the winds of uncertainty. It is tethered to your response. Heaven waits for your yes, and not just a mental agreement, but a declaration that shakes both the seen and unseen realms. There are moments in life when silence is a weapon, but there are also moments when the spoken word is the key that unlocks the gate. This is such a moment. The Spirit says, command your alignment. Open your mouth, and let heaven hear you agree with what I have decreed. Your blessing is not just being handed to you, it is being activated through your participation. You are not a spectator in this moment. You are a co-laborer with heaven. Angels have been dispatched, but they move fastest when faith is voiced without hesitation. Think of Joshua standing before the walls of Jericho. The victory was already decided in the throne room, but the walls did not fall until obedience was voiced in unison. Think of Mary when the angel told her she would carry the Son of God, for let it be to me according to your word, with the point at which heaven's plan took root in her life. And now, think of yourself. Your yes is not a small agreement. It is the seal of heaven's transaction in your favor. This is why Michael has not left your side. His assignment has been to guard the delivery, but your assignment is to claim it. If you do not claim it, it cannot be placed in your hands. The scroll with your blessing will not unroll itself. It waits for the one whose voice confirms their readiness. Do not underestimate the power of your own words. Life and death are in the tongue, and in this hour, your words are either building the bridge to your blessing or burning it. The Spirit is not asking for complicated prayer, He is asking for clarity, for authority, for a wavering agreement. It is not enough to think, I hope this comes to me. You must speak, I receive it. I align with it. I will walk in it. The enemy hopes you will stay quiet in this moment, letting uncertainty keep you from speaking what you know is true. But the truth is, you have been prepared for this. Every battle you have survived, every tear you have cried, every delay you have endured has been leading you here, to the activation of your destiny. This is not about mere survival anymore. This is about stepping into the assignment heaven has been holding in reserve for you. You are a carrier of more than just personal blessing. What you receive will ripple into the lives of others. The release over your life is meant to unlock doors for those connected to you. Your obedience will echo into the lives of your children, your family, your community. When you say yes today, you are setting a chain reaction in motion that will continue long after this moment passes. Beloved, hear me. Destiny is not something that just happens to you. It is something you step into with intention. Heaven has rolled out the path before you. Michael has cleared the way, and the Spirit is waiting for your agreement. But the next step is yours to take. Stand where you are, lift your head, and declare with faith that cannot be shaken, Heaven, I agree. I receive my portion. I align with my assignment. I will not let my blessing pass me by. Say it until you feel it in your bones. Say it until every doubt bows to the truth. This is your activation moment. The countdown is still running, but with your yes, the gates swing fully open, and the scroll begins to unroll. Step into it now, before the sands of this divine hourglass are gone. Type yes, Lord, in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1313 is opening your gates now. Even now, as you hear these words, movements are taking place in realms your eyes cannot see. In the courts of heaven, scrolls are being unsealed, signatures of light are being stamped, and assignments are being transferred into the hands of those who have proven faithful in the waiting. This is not a moment of noise. It is a moment of sacred transaction. The Spirit says, I am shifting resources. I am redirecting favor. I am restoring what was taken, and I am placing it into the hands of those who will carry it with integrity. Michael is there. He stands in the chamber where the decisions are finalized, his sword sheathed but his authority unshaken. His role in this moment is not combat, but guardianship. He is overseeing the exchange, ensuring that what belongs to you remains untouched by any hand not authorized to hold it. The adversary has tried to contest your portion, presenting accusations, highlighting your past failures, pointing to your moments of doubt, but Michael has presented the evidence of your endurance, your obedience, and your faith. Heaven's gavel strikes in your favor. What is happening now is not a negotiation in the way humans understand it. It is a divine settlement. Things stolen in previous seasons are being returned, not in the same form you lost them, but in an upgraded state. Time you thought was wasted is being redeemed with acceleration. Opportunities you believed were gone forever are being brought back in a form better suited for your current capacity. Relationships that were fractured are being realigned. Not all will be restored, but the ones that matter for your destiny are being placed back into position. The enemy hoped you would never make it to this moment. He hoped the distractions, the delays, and the heaviness would keep you from standing long enough for the exchange to occur. But you have remained, and now heaven moves on your behalf. There is no shouting in this chamber, no chaos. Only the sound of seals breaking, chains falling, and the quiet authority of the king saying, release it. Your spirit has felt this moment coming even before your mind understood it. That sense of restlessness in recent date, with the ripple effect of the heavenly scales tipping in your favor, that sudden urge to pray in the middle of your day, it with the Spirit calling you to lean in as the verdict was being prepared. A deep peace that came over you despite the storm. It was the confirmation that heaven's decision had already been made. And now, the transaction is almost complete. The scroll that bears your blessing is being handed from the registry to Michael's care. You will deliver it when the final moment of your countdown meets heaven's green light. But hear me, nothing is being lost. The enemy's attempts to rout your portion have failed. Every scheme to cause your blessing to be reassigned has been overturned. What is yours is being returned, and it will arrive in the precise moment that aligns with your readiness. The Spirit says, do not fear the silence. This is the sound of me working. Many expect breakthrough to come with fireworks, with visible signs, with loud declarations. But often, the greatest shifts happen in the stillness. In the silent exchange of the spirit realm, Destinies are altered, futures are secured, and the enemy is left powerless to interfere. Beloved, trust what you cannot yet see. The courtroom of heaven has ruled in your favor. Michael has been dispatched with the delivery. All that remains is for you to remain in posture, holding steady until the release touches the earth in your life. When it arrives, you will know. It will carry the weight of peace, the fragrance of heaven, and the unmistakable stamp of divine timing. Type "I receive" the exchange in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is sealing your portion in the courts of heaven. The verdict has been rendered in the courts of heaven. The injustices against you are being overturned. What was done in secret to diminish you will now be dealt with in the open. The Spirit says, I have seen the schemes of those who worked against you in the shadows. I have measured their words, weighed their intentions, and I have found them wanting. Now I rise to reverse the decree of the enemy. This reversal is not symbolic, it is strategic. It touches every area where the adversary tried to gain legal ground. He used slander to taint your name, but heaven is cleansing your reputation. He tried to close doors prematurely, but the keeper of the keys is unlocking new ones in their place. He attempted to drain your resources, but heaven is releasing abundance that will not run dry. This is not only restoration, it is compensation. What was taken will not simply be returned, it will be multiplied tenfold. The Spirit moves with precision in this hour. The reversal is not delayed, it has already begun. If you look closely, you will see the early signs, unexpected favor from people who once ignored you, opportunities reappearing after months or years, burdens lifting without explanation. These are not coincidences. They are the first ripples of the tidal wave of justice that is approaching. Michael's role in this moment is to enforce the decree. In the same way an officer carries out the orders of a court, he is ensuring that every demonic claim against you is nullified and that the release flows without obstruction. The enemy's accusations have been silenced, and the gavel has fallen in your favor. No further appeals are possible. The Spirit says, I am not merely returning what was lost. I am writing the story so the loss becomes the testimony. Your greatest defeats will become the very platforms from which you testify of my power. Every season where you were mocked will become a stage where you are honored. Every place you were pushed out of will be a place you are invited back into, with authority this time. This is divine justice. It is not revenge. It is restoration with righteousness. Heaven does not return harm for harm. Heaven elevates you in the sight of those who once thought you were finished. It is the table prepared in the presence of your enemies, the anointing oil poured until your cup overflows. Beloved, understand that divine reversal does not just change your situation. It changes the atmosphere around your life. Where there was scarcity, there will now be overflow. Where there was heaviness, there will now be joy. Where there was delay, there will now be acceleration. And because this reversal is ordered by heaven, it is untouchable by the enemy. The Spirit declares, you will laugh again in places where you once wept. You will walk boldly into rooms where you were once rejected. And you will carry with you the evidence of my justice, favor that cannot be explained, blessings that cannot be denied. Do not let bitterness poison this season. What is coming is too great for you to carry old offenses. Release them now, for the reversal is already in motion, and you must be ready to walk into it with clean hands and a pure heart. You are stepping into a season where every seed you planted in tears will return as a harvest of joy. The scales are balanced, the record is cleared, and your hands are being filled again, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Type I receive divine justice in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1515 is restoring what is rightfully yours. August 12 will forever stand as a turning point in your story. On that day, something shifted in the spirit realm that could never be undone. The release assigned to you was written into heaven's record, and since then, every battle, every silence, every moment of waiting has been part of the countdown toward this moment. Archangel Michael has been moving tirelessly, warning you when you drifted, guarding you when the enemy advanced, and standing ready with your blessing in hand. The urgency remains, but so does the promise. The 3 minutes spoken over your life represent the narrow window between receiving and losing, between possession and redirection. You have heard the warnings, you have felt the stirring, and now you stand in the place of decision. Heaven watches to see not only that you hear, but that you act. This is not the moment to shrink back. This is the moment to step forward in bold agreement. Beloved, I bless you now in the name of the Most High. I declare that your steps will be ordered, your spirit will be steady, and your hands will be ready to receive. I decree that no scheme of the enemy will penetrate the hedge around your life. I speak the sealing of your promise, the protection of your assignment, and the acceleration of your release. May the angels that have been stationed over you remain vigilant until the blessing is fully in your possession. May your ears hear the final unlocking. May your eyes see the manifestation. This is your commissioning. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Rise now, for the gates are open, and the scroll is unrolling in your favor. Walk into it without hesitation. Your moment has come. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1616 is finalizing your release. Just as the word you have received today was sent on time for you, we are committed to carrying timely prophetic words to others whose windows are about to close. This mission is not funded by chance. It is sustained by those who understand the urgency of heaven's work. When you give, through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you're not simply contributing. You are sowing into the rescue of souls before their moment passes. The Lord says in 2 Corinthians 9:10, "Now he who supplies seed to the sower will also increase your store of seed and enlarge the harvest of your righteousness." Every seed you plant becomes a lifeline for another person's breakthrough. I bless every giver with the same acceleration and protection I've declared over your life today. Act now. Let your giving be your agreement with heaven's mission.